Hi, I'm Ruben from Rubenvanroond's Drum Channel. Welcome at this drum lesson of Steve Gadd's 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. I will explain the groove step by step, but also I will tell you how he created this groove, and I rebuilt his drum set, the same drum set he uses in the 70s. I myself am a professional drummer from Holland, the Netherlands, and I teach this as a professor at the Amsterdam Conservatory and the Conservatory of The Hague. So I hope that you enjoy this lesson and give me a thumb up, and please subscribe. That's not with the bass drum, the second one. So for most people out there, this is a very strange movement that the left feet has the lead, you know, and he does that a lot. Left hand, left feet has the lead. As a right drummer, that's really weird. And try to stay as relaxed as possible. So we had this movement. And that is the nice thing. The first time, and that's what I always mixing up. The first time you play 4/60 notes, and you double the first one. So you double the floor tom, and that's a thing I always forget. At the second bass drum, like. So that's part one of the groove, and in part two, you play both toms. You do and you play a 5-stroke almost, but you don't finish with your hand, but with your feet. So that's right, left. So you know your 5-stroke. Again, it's always very rudimental. Yeah. So that's all about this groove and the insights. So please like and subscribe my channel. Pitch. Really light, and then your touch. You know, I see a lot of people playing so, and there's no good or bad. I always say that there's no good or bad. It's different. You know, it's different. But when you want to try to play relaxed music, be relaxed. That's the only way to play relaxed, lay-back music, to be fully relaxed. And if it's not happening yet, you have to work on your technique, that you have more impact. That's the only thing to do. And sitting like this, you know. You always see Steve Gadd. But it works. So that's only, and this cymbal, same. It's also an old AO. The basic concept, I think, if you hear all the interviews about it, is that he was playing in the studio. You can also, of course, when you're a normal drummer like me and I hear this song, I was thinking. You think of this groove. So that's, of course, your first idea about the groove for this song. And I think that idea was also there, but in some preparation time, he was practicing. I think this is the story, what I understand of all the interviews. He was practicing in the studio because there was some time to kill, and he had some ideas about using his left feet, like jazz drummers use them, you know. First you start off like this in the time of jazz playing. You play him always on the 2 and the 4. But when Tony Williams and Jack DeJohnette and Alvin came around, they're gonna fool around with the hi-hat. So that he want to adjust that in pop drumming. So that's very interesting, the independence of his left feet. So and he was fooling around with the concept of playing four 60 notes, every note with a different limb of your body. So and it was 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N, 4 E N, and move that around. 1 E N, 2 E N, 4 E N, 1 E N, 1 E N, 2 E N, so that you can play it on every place of the bar of the. You can place your limbs, so like a permutation study. So that's very interesting, and that I think that he was practicing during the break in the studio, and the producer, I thought it was Phil Ramone, I don't know sure if that's true, but said, yeah, that's great. Ooh, that's a great thing. So it's really hard to start with your hi-hat. So this is the first motion. And then he plays on the beat 1 also a bass drum. And the interesting thing, if you see my previous drum lessons about Steve Gadd drumming, that he has that bass drum technique, you know, that tap dance bass drum technique. And so his heel, you know, is the downbeat, but he does that also with his, so you have the same motion. Ooh. And here comes his rudimental drumming. So, and then I think you have to play a little bit of a shuffle in it. That's very important, because the bridge don't. That's, you know. So I'm a crazy Steve Gadd fan, and the drum set he used on this recording session was before his Yamaha period. He plays his pearl fiberglass concert toms, and they put both heads on it. So concert toms are normally with one head above, no head at the bottom, but they rebuild it and put a head at the bottom, and I did the same. So I have here the same drum set, almost. Not exactly the same, because his was white, and it's very hard to find. So I have a collage of different colors. This is a very rare drum. You see it on the videos. It's a 10-inch tom, but the concert tom was 10 inch by 6 or 6.5 between. It was very small tom, and you have no place to place the lugs here. So They use snare drum lugs, you know, one big snare drum lug to have both sides with a drum head. So at his first Yamaha drums, you see the same concept. The Yamaha didn't have a 10-inch tom yet, and he wanted a very small 10-inch tom, so that was 10 by 7 or. And you see also one big lug from the snare drum. So they started with this drum concept. So I rebuilt it with the proper heads, the Evans hydraulic and the Ambassadors Remo at the bottom. So it was a lot of work to find it. So I have the bass drum I don't have because he used a 20-inch Gretsch bass drum, I think. But this tom and this tom are also, and I have here 15. So he used a 10, 12, 13, 14. So my 14 is somewhere else, but so you have the proper sound, and of course the supraphonic snare drum, very important. So, you know, everybody is focusing on the A part, but the song has also a B part. And it's nice to listen for a moment, if I can do that, to the B part. Yeah. Is focusing, of course, on this genius idea. But listen to the sound. Now comes my favorite part. Now we're gonna get a groove, man.
You just slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. You don't need to be coy, Roy. Just get yourself free. Hop on the bus.
Dynamics, that's really important, you know. So he plays so incredibly soft with impact, and if I ask that to my students to play soft, it's really like you get more tense to, you know, to hold the sound, you know, hold back, and they really are really forced playing soft. But the secret about playing soft, and how Tom Scott called it when he heard the whole New York crew playing in his studio, silent fire. You have to play soft, totally relaxed. So maybe it's nice to switch to the live version, because later on he played also with Paul Simon, and you have the famous in the park, in the Central Park concert. And that was the time that Steve Gadd switched it also from a drum set from this set to Yamaha, of course. And I think he got a Yamaha endorsement at 1978, but he still used this drum set a lot in the studio, I think, till 1980. And then he really made the switch. But I'm not sure. I hope one time I can interview him to get all the answers I have about the grooves and this kind of things, the sound. I think that's a little bit missing in the interviews who are there online, and about his way of studying in the early days. Nice. I put on the version in Central Park, and you can listen to that first. And I will switch my drum set with the Yamaha tones. Yes, I switched. So this is for the real freaks. So now I have a Yamaha recording custom And that's a real different story about the misunderstanding about Yamaha 9000 recording custom RA, RF. That's all. I'm gonna do a different lesson about that one. But this is a recording custom of 1988. So I found them white. So there's one video of Mr. Gadd in Denmark with the Gadd gang on a white drum set. And it's with a 10 by 8 and a 12 by 8, very rare. 14 by 10, and this is a 15 by 13, so I need a 16 by 14. But I'm happy. And of course the 22 by 14 with the Evans heads on it.